Hey guys, it's Sakar, and today we're going to be going over my Stamina Nightblade build for the Lost Depths chapter. This is a really fun build that I've been enjoying a lot. I hope you guys enjoy it too. If you're not though, please subscribe to the channel. We are just passing 2,900 subs on YouTube, and I would highly appreciate that so much. I really want to get to that 3K mark so soon, so I would really appreciate it because this has been a really fun build. Getting those really high crit damage numbers up has been so much fun to just see people get two-shot. I'm loving it. It's probably my favorite build this patch so far. So I hope that you guys enjoy it too. And let me know in the comments below how much you like it. Or if you're running a similar build, let me know what that is. So guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, let's get started. First things first, we're going to look at our character sheet. We're going to be a Khajiit on our Nightblade. That way we get our crit up as high as possible. Khajiit is the best class for crit blades. So I am going for Khajiit on this build. I really like it. I think it's the best way to go. So definitely do that if you can. We're going to have 20 points into our health to give us a nice 32k chunky health pool, and 44 points into stamina to give us a nice 21.1k stem pool. And then just by being Khajiit and our prismatics on our gear, we're going to have 17.2k max magic. Our Mundus is going to be the shadow to increase our critical damage and healing by 12%. We're going to be a vampire on this build. That way we can get that stage 3, so we can get that undeath passive. Undeath passive gives you more resistance the lower health you are, so you become more tanky when you get lower health. It is definitely necessary for fighting in Cyrodiil. I definitely recommend it for almost all of your builds. And then, as always, we're using the Orzorga Smirked Bear Haunch as our food. That is going to be the best way to get your health up as high as possible and your recovery up. I know it's pretty expensive, so if you can't afford this, just use the Jewels of Miserable food. It is just as good. You just lose about 400 health, if I remember correctly, so you can definitely compensate for that. It's only 400, so just use the Jewels of Miserable if you can't afford this. Our gear is going to be broken down like this. Our monster set is going to be Balorgs. Our helmet is going to be heavy. Our shoulder is going to be medium divines. So heavy reinforced head. Sorry, I didn't say the reinforced part. With all prismatic enchants on every single part of our body, as you can see. So what Balorgs does is the one piece gives you weapon and spell damage, and the two piece is whenever you use an ultimate, you gain weapon and spell damage equal to the amount of total ultimate consumed. So say you use an ultimate that's worth that, and you have 100 ultimate when you spend it, you're going to get an extra 100 weapon and spell damage, and then your physical and spell resistance is going to be equal to 23 times, or penetration, I'm sorry, not resistance. Your physical and spell penetration is going to be equal to 23 times that amount. So that's going to be, say it's 100 again, you're going to increase your physical and spell pen by 2300. So that's pretty huge. Getting those 500 ult charges is absolutely massive. You get a lot of damage that way. So Balorgs is just the best damage monster set in the game right now. I really like it. So again, heavy reinforced helmet, medium divines shoulder. Our chest piece is going to be a heavy Order's Wrath piece in reinforced. This is going to be your front bar set. What this does is the 2-piece gives you crit chance, 3-piece weapon and spell damage, 4-piece another crit chance, 5-piece another crit chance, and also it's going to increase your critical damage and critical healing by 8%. So that is massive. As you can see, we're just going fully crit on this build. I know what you're probably thinking in a meta where Rallying Cry is so strong. Why are we going crit? Because we are still doing tons of damage with this. It feels so nice to hit those 20k bow procs and stuff like that when you're actually getting those crits off right. I absolutely love it so much. So I'm really enjoying Order's Wrath. I know a lot of other people are using Night Mother's Gaze. That's fine too. I just prefer this playstyle right now. They're both good. I just prefer this. So heavy Order's Wrath reinforced chest. Our belt is going to be medium Wretched Vitality in well fitted, and what this is going to be our back bar set on this build. So what Wretched Vitality is going to do is going to give you the 2 and 3 piece of magic and stamina recovery. The 4 piece is going to give you weapon and spell damage, and then the 5 piece, basically the way to simplify that is when you're in combat, hitting an ability that's going to give you a major buff or debuff, or a minor buff or debuff, is going to grant you about 400 magic and stamina recovery between the two of them. So it is so much recovery. It's absolutely insane. And we're going to be using Race Against Time on our back bar, which gives you both a major and minor buff. So that's going to proc this alone. So just hitting the one skill is going to give you an extra 400 recoup for an extra 15 seconds, and it's always reapplying. So it's huge. You're always going to have it up. It is amazing. It's definitely great for sustain this patch. Our hands are going to be medium Order's Wrath in Divines. Our feet are going to be medium Wretched Vitality in Well Fitted. And our legs are going to be heavy Order's Wrath in Reinforced. We also want to do our heavy pieces in Reinforced. It's going to give you the most amount of resistances as possible. It's huge. You need it that way. That way you get, you're as tanky as possible. Our jewelry is going to be, our necklace is going to be Trainee in the Swift trait with a weapon damage enchant on it. We have one extra slot on this build. When you put a set on your front bar, when you put a set on your back bar, you'll always have an extra slot. So that's why you always want to do Trainee, so you can get that extra 1.4k max health. It definitely adds up as you add that to your build. Your mythic on this is going to be a Markin ring. Markin is going to give you an extra 100 weapon spell damage for each 3-piece set you have on. So that you have your Wretched Vitality and your Order's Wrath piece, 3-piece on both bars active at all times. So you're going to get an extra 200 weapon and spell damage and an extra 2300 armor just for having those equipped. So that is absolutely huge for your damage, for your tankiness. I really like it personally. And then your other ring is going to be Wretched Vitality and infused with the weapon damage enchant. Also, did I say that this was an infused weapon enchant on the Markin ring? I forgot. Either way, double infused rings, double infused weapon damage enchants. Our weapons are going to be dual wield axes, both of them. Your main hand is going to be Nirnhoned. Your offhand is going to be Precise. Nirnhoned is going to increase your weapon damage and spell damage. Your Precise is going to increase your weapon and spell crit. So definitely use that. Our back bar is going to be a bow with Wretched Vitality in defending. Bow is going to give you just a little bit more speed when you're roll dodging and stuff. That way you don't have to hit your Race Against Time as much as possible. So I like the bow, but if you're using something like an Ice Staff, I completely understand why you use that for the tankiness. I just like the bow on this build. Onto our skills, we're going to be running. Let's do our front bar first. Our main spammable is going to be Surprise Attack. This thing is hitting like a truck. It gives you so many buffs. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely massive. Getting the status effect on your enemies, the damage that you get from this, it is absolutely huge. I love it so much. Camo Hunter to increase your to give you major savagery. It's going to increase your weapon and spell crit. So that's just building more into the crit of this build. Power Extraction. What Power Extraction does is it gives you major brutality if you hit an enemy. So it's going to increase your weapon and spell damage by 20%. And then also your enemies are going to get minor cowardice by getting hit by this. So it's going to reduce their weapon and spell damage by 215. So every little thing counts. And then on top of this, it's a nice AoE. So if you're fighting against somebody that's roll dodging constantly, this is a great way to just keep that damage up on them as they're just like playing roly-poly-oly. Killer's Blade. This is going to be our execute on this build. This is our way to really finish that kill off when they're at low health. It says at less than 50% health, but I start to use it at about 30% health. I feel like it doesn't really do that much damage at that 50% mark, so definitely use that at like the 30% or so. It's really good. It's a great way to just secure that kill at the end. Merciless Resolve. When you get those 5 light attacks off, or heavy attacks, you're going to get your bow proc for Merciless Resolve, and I have hit so many chunky numbers with this. I think my highest one so far is 27.7k on this. I think I played that in the intro video. So definitely use this, combo that off as much as possible between your in-cap or your back bar ultimate. It is absolutely phenomenal. I love it so much. It is just damage. It's amazing. And then in cap, this is going to be your main ultimate that you're using. I love to just two-shot people with this and the bow proc. It is so much damage. It's so cheap. Definitely use that. The best way to use this, though, is when you have more than 120 ultimate, your enemy gets stunned. So try to wait for that 120 mark. Don't use it at like the 70 mark or the 76 mark where you first get it. Try and be patient with this and get that stun off. That way you can get that bow proc off properly too. Our back bar is going to be Shadow Image. This is going to give you kind of an escape route when you're fighting in close quarters. And then also when you summon this, you're also going to get Major Resolve, which is huge. You need it on this build. You don't have it any other way. So use this every so often. That way you keep that Major Resolve up, keep your tankiness up, and then keep your, honestly, just kind of keep on kiting. That way you're not taking so much damage to the face. Race Against Time. This is huge for so many reasons on this build. Major Expedition for 4 seconds, so you're fast. Minor Force for 20 seconds, so that's going to increase your critical damage. And right there it says a major buff and a minor buff. That's going to give you your Wretched Vitality buff. So just this skill alone can give you 400 recov because of the Wretched Vitality. And then Major Expedition for 4 seconds, so it's going to increase your movement speed by 30%. And your Minor Force, increasing your critical damage by 10%. Huge, absolutely huge. So much on this build that is just phenomenal. I love this so much. And then also, this is going to be your snare removal too. So this skill alone is absolutely necessary on this build. Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main heal on this build. And then also on top of that, it's going to give you Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3k. So that is necessary as well. That way you're as tanky as possible on this build. But like I said, this is going to be your main heal. Keep this up as often as you can. Dark Cloak, I know what you guys are thinking. Dark Cloak, I thought that was nerfed. Yeah, it was. And it's not the best, but I gotta say, having 2 heals over time is way better than having 1. Being able to alternate between the 2 of them is a lot of healing, and I definitely recommend it. And then on top of that, you gain minor protection for 12 seconds just by having this active. So you don't need to do your temporal guard back bar because you're going to be using this. So we're able to switch it up because of that, and we're able to do some more hood rat stuff because of it. I love it. Healthy Offering, this is going to be your burst heal. When you're taking too much damage and Resolving Vigor and Dark Cloak aren't cutting it, and when you need a lot of health back instantly, you use Healthy Offering. This is going to give you so much healing. And then on top of that, you get Minor Mending for 10 seconds afterwards, increasing your healing down by 8%. So you hit that Healthy Offering, and then those two, the Resolving Vigor and the Dark Cloak heals are going to really hit really high. So definitely keep your heals up as much as you can. And then our last ability is going to be Ballista on our back bar as our ultimate. I know, guys. I know. It feels like a rat build, but it is so much fun to be able to just melt tanks because they're just blocking. They're not paying attention. It drains their stamina. It does so much damage. I'm loving it so much. Please don't knock it until you try it. I've been having an absolute blast with this ability. It is so fun. It's so stupid. I love it so much. So please just give it a shot. If you don't like it, just use something like the healing tether on your back bar. That way you can get some heals. But I love this. It's so much fun. And then finally, our last bit is going to be our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Fighting Finesse to increase our critical damage and critical healing done. Master at Arms, Focus Mending, and Ironclad. Our red slottables are Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Celerity, and Survival Instincts. And then the green slottables, the only ones that really matter, are Rationer, because it's very expensive to keep our Azorgas up. Liquid Efficiency, because potions are not cheap. That's not really that important. What's really important, though, is that Breakfall passive right there. All right, guys. That's the build. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please, and if you're not, please subscribe to the channel. We are just hitting 2,900 subs right now, which is absolutely massive. It's so many, and I really want to get to that 3K mark by the end of the year. So if we can get those subs, I would really appreciate it. It is free, and it just really helps me out so much. I would appreciate it. I can't even stress how much. Also, if you are subscribed to the channel, just liking the video helps me out so much. I would appreciate that too. But that's it. I'm not going to really talk about this anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.